Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road. It's the first touch, strong connection. It lays deep in your soul. Feel the kindness strongly coming, 'cause you can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road.
Hey, it's Nancy Yearout, and welcome to High Road to Humanity. And today we're going to talk about energy. And I wrote a book on energy many years ago called Wake Up, the Universe is Speaking to You. It's still in production today. But you know what? I decided that I want to go back and go through some of these principles with everybody. The world is changing and we're made of energy. And I always talk about connecting, but today I'm going to talk about our energy fields, our chakras, and I'm going to teach everybody how to protect your own energy field, how to clear your energy field, how to clear your space, whether it's at home or at work, in your car. It's just the space where you work. So there's going to be a lot of great information today, and I just hope that you guys will share all of this information with your friends and family because, these principles should have probably been taught when we were growing up, when we were young, but they haven't been. So here I am. I've learned these things. And, let me just kind of give you a little background on how I started to figure out everything is energy. And, Albert Einstein said, before I do that, let me just say this: everything is energy. And that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get the reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Now, it's that little saying there was attributed to Albert Einstein, but I'm just saying everything is energy. And when I learned about energy was when I was in the real estate business. I was a single mom and I was trying to draw business to myself so I could bring in business to support my family. And so that's when I started to say affirmations, positive affirmations. And what I realized was that your words and your thoughts and your feelings have power. And so, whatever you talk about all day is what you're creating. You're creating your own reality. And I realized that if I said positive affirmations, which I did every day driving to work, I would go to my office and I'd say, I sell houses like crazy. And I did. I sold houses like crazy. And, sometimes I forget my own work. And I came back to it. I was looking at my book and I thought, there's something I want to manifest right now. And so you can change your affirmations to whatever manifestation you're trying to create in your life. Okay. And I always write my down because the ink makes it stick. And you have to say them every day. And the key to affirmations is too, I'll just mention this before we get into the energy, is that you really have to believe it in your heart and soul. And when you change your mind and you change your thoughts and you change your words, you do change your atmosphere, you do change your reality. But what I want to first talk about today is the energy of people. Okay, so, let's just talk about, for example, if you encounter a person that you're not comfortable with, okay, there's a lot of people out there who I say don't have their own light, meaning that their light is dim. We all have the light. We all have the light of God. We all have that spark within inside of us. But there's a lot of people out there who have a hard time creating their own joy, their own spark, their own happiness. And what happens is, and not even intentionally, I just want to say this, a lot of times people don't even realize they're doing this. There are a lot of energy vampires out there that are sucking your energy dry when you don't even realize it. For example, if you have to go to a party and you talk to somebody and you got home and you felt really drained or even ill, that person could have drained your energy without you even realizing it. And this has happened to me over the years, and I've learned how to protect myself. And, we can bring in more good energy. It's not that. It's just that you don't want other people to drain you of your energy because you can become depleted and ill by having somebody do that. If somebody's going through a hard time, like a scenario is maybe you have a friend who's going through a breakup or a difficult time, and they call you, and when you hang up the phone, you feel depleted. And it's great to encourage people, but also make sure you put up boundaries so you're not depleting yourself of your good energy, that you didn't just give it all away. Now, again, I'm saying you can bring more energy in. I teach everybody how to bring in the light through their crown chakra and down through their body. But you don't want to go through life like that. You want to make sure that you're around people who have a positive energy field and who are positive individuals. And, if you get around people that aren't, that it just doesn't feel good, then you need to stay away from those people because it brings your energy level down and it does affect you, not just mentally, but it affects you physically. Before I realized that God orchestrated everything in the universe, I thought I could just handle everything, and I believed I was smart enough to control everything. But I learned after, much trials and tribulations that, our creator is definitely in charge, but it's all done energetically. That's how, when we say prayers, that energy is going up into the universe and it's received by spirit, the creator. And the same thing goes for our energy of fear or of love. That is all felt by the universe. The more love you put out, the more love you get back. If you put out fear, then the universe sends you fearful energy because the universe complies with us. Okay. Whatever we put out and ask for, they're like, okay, here you go. So really be careful with your words and really be careful with who you hang out with. Okay, it's super important. Energy is spoken about in the Bible many times. So I want to refer to scripture from one of the oldest books on the planet. Okay, and I'm going to read Colossians 1:28 and 29. He is the one we proclaim, admonishing and teaching everyone with all wisdom, so that we may present everyone fully mature in Christ. To this end, I strenuously contend with all the energy Christ so powerful works in me. And the scripture clearly states that the energy is in your soul, that the Christ energy is in our souls. So we can use this Christ energy, the Holy Spirit, bringing it in to stay happy, to stay joyful, and to stay centered. And I just want to talk about that because, whether you believe in Christianity or not, there is a love vibration. You can say God, you can say spirit, you can say creator. But when you bring in that love energy into your body, it totally balances you. It brings about more of a healthy, um, vibe within you, and you're more upbeat. Now, I want to talk about different relationships, and we were talking about negative energy and being around negative people. And sometimes, we have negative people in our family, or maybe we have a negative partner, in our life. And all I want to say, it's really, I've observed this in many couples, and I've done a lot of readings. And when you're around someone that's negative all the time, whether you try to stay upbeat or not, that negativity does affect you and it gets into your muscles and your bones. Okay. And you really, this is why I'm talking about this, and I'm really serious about this. When you're around negativity so much, it does get into your muscles, your bones, and it can affect you. And that's how dis-ease sets in. When you have this day after day after day, if you're in a bad relationship or if you're around really negative people, the best thing you can do for yourself is to separate yourself, because get yourself out of that negative situation. So I'm not a counselor. I'm not giving, marital advice here, but I'm telling you that when you're around negative people, that negative energy does affect you health-wise, not just mentally. It affects your health. Okay, it brings down your vibration. So because often negative energy is internalized, so even like young people, when they're around negativity growing up, that negative energy, if you have parents that were alcoholics or drug addicts or just fought all the time, or for whatever reason, if they had negative energy, it does affect. So after revealing this information to you, I feel it's imperative for you to understand that being around, like I said, negative people from a long time can eventually consume you. So it's really important. It's not something to take lightly. And especially, it's hard when it's family or relatives. So one of my goals when I put this book together was teaching people how to shield themselves from the negative energy. And that's the first thing I want to talk about is being around negative people or negative places. I haven't gone into the places, but let's talk about that. Haven't you ever walked into a space and it just didn't feel good, and you just wanted to leave? That's because there's negative energy. There's an imprint. The energy imprints itself, in different spaces. Could have been an argument, could have been, a death, whatever, or could have been, just any kind of negative energy can imprint itself. Now, the same goes for positive energy. Haven't you ever walked into a place and it just felt so great that you just wanted to stay there, There's a lot of times when you go on vacation, there's different spots, or even in nature, I found that I go, and gosh, I could stay here forever. The energy is so wonderful. So you can feel the energy and when intuitively your body is set up that way. We have these energy fields. We have what's called chakras. And so let's talk about the chakras. They're these discs, they spin, right? And they talk about it in India, they talk about it throughout the world. Everybody has a different name, but we do have chakras. I'm going to go through all the different chakras with you because we're energetic beings and we're in these human bodies. And for some reason, we don't talk about our energy fields as much as we should, and that we are energetic beings. So that's why I'm going to go through each chakra with you and just talk about, how we can clear each chakra, each energy field, because each energy field affects a different part of our body, okay, of our system. And we're also going to get into auras a little bit today, too. I'm going to talk about auras because I think auras are really cool. I can't see auras, but some people can. And back to the chakras and your energy fields, I do predict, and they're doing this now, where eventually we'll just walk through, a scanner and it'll scan, and they can already scan our energy fields. But they could see the color. I believe they'll be able, and they probably can already do it, where they can see the color and tell you exactly what's wrong with you and which chakra is out of balance. Okay. And intuitively, I will say we always know what chakra is out of balance and how to put them back into balance. So let's start with the base chakra. Okay. So the base chakra, and each chakra is associated with a color. So if you don't, some of you probably know this stuff, but bear with me if you don't. Maybe you'll recall something or get a fresh, a little fresh um, I don't know, maybe you'll come up with different ideas that you didn't know about the chakras, but the base chakra is red in color. It's also called the root chakra, okay? And it's located at the base of the spine, and it encompasses the spiral columns, your legs, your feet, your rectum, and your immune system. So if you have issues with your immune system, like I do, you got to really make sure you ground. So diseases from imbalance of the base chakra include hemorrhoids, constipation, varicose veins, depression, attention deficit disorders, and immune-related disorders. And so I talk in my new book, A Guide to Angel Communication and Spiritual Law. I teach everyone how to ground and how to connect with Mother Earth, and you can pick this up. But what I'm going to tell you now is exactly how to do it so that you can get started. So if you can go outside, of course, it's winter right now, but if you could go outside, if you're in a warm climate, go outside, take your shoes off, and just stand in the earth, walk on the beach. Best thing you can ever do for yourself. Mother Earth has healing energy. And in order to stay balanced and in order to stay present on the earth, we have to ground. And the base chakra is how we do this. So you can visualize roots coming out of your tailbone and going down into the earth and anchoring. You can visualize roots coming out of your feet and anchoring. I do both actually, because I really need to be anchored. Because, a lot of times we just don't want to be here. And so we're out of our bodies. And so grounding, balancing that chakra is really grounding. Okay. So those are the disorders that can happen if you don't ground. And I know for me personally, it's my immune. And so I have to ground. And there's been times where people will look at me and say, Nancy, ground yourself. And that's so everybody has something, and you probably know, or actually you do know intuitively what it is. Now, the next chakra we're going to talk about is the sacral chakra. It is orange in color and it's located in the lower abdomen just below the navel. This is your area of emotion, connection, creativity, manifestation, and releasing of old behavior patterns in the body. Okay. Now, disease can set in, I call it dis-ease, can set in if it's imbalance. So the sacral chakra includes your gynecological and reproductive challenges, pelvic pain, urinary issues, and infections. Now, what you can do with the sacral chakra in order to, balance it, you can dance or you can do yoga. These are things you can do to balance your sacral chakra. And, you can get a phone cover that's orange, or whatever. Orange is the color. You can wear orange. That would really help. Get an orange purse if you're a girl, if you're a guy, grab an orange tie because it does help. The color. Color has frequency, and that's why I talk so much about color. Color has frequency. We're seeing these orbs up in the sky, right? And they're all around the earth, and everybody has their take on what they are right now, but they're emitting color. And in my mind, they're healing the earth's energy, or they're helping to heal the earth's energy. Maybe they're healing the grid system or putting in a new grid system. But what I feel is, you can see the colors. When you see the orbs, you can see the colors because color has different frequency and each color has its own healing properties. So when you wear a certain color, or if you have, see a color often, it really does help balance. Okay, so that's where all that comes from. Now, let's talk about the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is green in color, okay, and it's located at the center of the chest, obviously, and the area of the body that's affected are your heart, your circulatory systems, your blood, your lungs, your diaphragm, breast, shoulders, arms, hands, and your esophagus, okay? And again, it's with the color green is associated with the heart chakra. Now, diseases from the imbalance of the heart chakra include immunity disorders, heart and lung conditions, asthma, breast cancer, pneumonia, upper back and shoulder problems, and issues with self-love, self-confidence, jealousy, hate, fear, envy, and anger. Wow, look what happens when you're jealous or angry at someone. It affects your heart chakra. That's crazy. That's why we have to forgive. But what I want to say about the heart chakra and you know, helping with the heart chakra more than anything, I think so that you don't have disease, is self-love. I believe, because I've had to learn this myself, because I had a narcissistic mom. But we've never really been taught that it's okay to love ourselves, that it's just fine. And so for this one, I'm going to say if you have issues with self-love, or if you have issues with self-confidence or jealous, hate, fear, any of that kind of stuff, do some tapping. Okay, it's the EFT. It's that tapping where, you're tapping different meridian points. They tap on the head, the top of the head, they tap right here, and you can watch them on YouTube and they tap. And what you're doing is these are acupuncture points and you're reprogramming. So if you're really, have a problem with anger or self-love or any of those issues, tapping is something that you can do. It's really cool. If you've never done it, I know it sounds weird. If you haven't done it, if you have done it, it works and it really does. So it's amazing stuff. And thousands of people, believe it or not, are tapping because they're tapping pressure points, the meridians, the points that people use in the acupuncture to move the energy. And so when you tap, again, you're moving the energy, okay? You're getting the energy flowing again. You're telling the body, you're kind of waking up those points. And so I really believe in the tapping. So if you haven't tried it, check it out. The next chakra that I want to talk about is the throat chakra. Associated, look at that. I did that. Associated with the color blue. It's at the throat. It's in the neck area. The area of the body influenced are the throat, thyroid, neck, mouth, teeth, gums, esophagus, and your thyroid gland. Okay. So the throat chakra, um, can get, I've seen this with different clients, if they're not speaking their truth or they're not speaking up or speaking up for themselves, they will have trouble with their throat chakra. And I always suggest wearing blue because, the color blue is associated with the throat chakra. Or you could wear a blue necklace, or if you're a guy, wear a blue shirt or just whatever, wear some blue, and that will help you. Also, with the throat chakra, our bodies are these energy fields. Again, we're these energy centers, and the throat chakra wants you to speak your truth. So watch your words, pay attention to your words, okay? And that's really speak positive affirmations and talk about how great your body is and talk it up, and that will really help your throat chakra, okay? So the next chakra I want to talk about is the third eye chakra. It's indigo in color, and it's located right here in the center of your brow. Now, the areas that are affected by this are the brain neurological system, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your pituitary gland, and your pineal glands. Okay, so the diseases from imbalance of the third eye chakra includes strokes, brain tumors, deafness, blindness, seizures, vertigo, learning disorders, depression, panic, spinal dysfunction, fear of the truth, and confusion. Okay, I really want to put a lot of emphasis on the third eye chakra. I took me a while years ago to start to meditate. I'm type A. It's hard for a lot of us to sit still. It may be hard for you to sit still. But what I did learn was if I meditated, meaning that if I did 3 sets of 7 breaths. So, okay, that's 1 set of 7. Now, me being such a high energy, did you see how that just calmed me down? Okay, it does. And it'll calm you down too. So I want you to do 3 sets of 7 breaths, just like I did. Breathe in your nose, out your mouth. Okay. What you're doing is you're calming yourself down. Do this with your eyes closed. Quiet your mind. Do this in quiet space. And what'll happen is you'll eventually see purple. Prince has that song, Purple Haze. I always think it's from him, like meditating and seeing the purple. But when your third eye is open, you can see purple. And when the purple comes in and you start to see it in your mind's eye, because your eyes are closed, so you're seeing it in your mind's eye, it's like so comforting. And, it's like, I made it, I'm connected. And so that's how you can see your third eye. And that's when I go in and I ask spirit questions because I know I'm calm. I know I'm connected. And I know I'm connected to source because I can see the purple. All right. Kind of cool, huh? All right. Let's talk about the crown chakra. Purple violet in color, right here at the top of our head. And it's the area of the body that's influenced is the top of your head. And diseases from imbalance of the crown chakra include issues from skeletal systems, um, muscular system, skin, chronic fatigue syndrome, hypersensitivity to light. I actually have that. A lot of empaths have the hypersensitivity to light and sound, and environment and lacking purpose, being uninspired or being unable to view the full spectrum of life. Okay, well, if you watch any of my shows, what I'm going to tell you to do with the crown chakra, and that's to bring in the light of God. So I always say a prayer, may the light of God surround me, may the power of God protect me wherever I am, God is. Ask only God come in. And then I visualize the white light coming down through the crown chakra, through my body, out my arms, down my torso, down my legs, out my feet, out my toes. And I have the light of God within me. And boy, is that calming, and it's wonderful, and it's regenerating, and it's balancing, and it's joy. It's joy and love, and it fills you up with love. And so you're not looking for love on the outside anymore. You've got it with God. It's perfect. So that is all the chakras. We've gone through all of them. Now, I do want to talk about the auras today before we get out of here. Mm, I don't want to make this too long of a show, but I do want to start going through all this stuff with people because I had to delve into all this stuff to learn it. I think I learned it out of necessity. I talked about being a single mom and learning how to draw a business to myself, and I'm doing it again. Here I am in Connecticut, and I'm learning to draw business to myself again. I'm doing a different business. It's not real estate this time. This time I'm teaching classes. And I do want to say that I have a new class coming up, and it is it's the beginning of Ascension Level 1 class. Okay, so it's a beginner's class to, learn a lot of these principles that I'm teaching you right now. So I've got that coming out, and it's on my website, nancyyearout.com. I also have an angel class on there where you can learn to connect with your guardian angel. And if you want an angel reading or an energy healing, I do those by Zoom. You can go ahead and sign up there. And I need to say that. I have really great energy and I'm a great healer. So if you need to be balanced, I'm happy to do that for you. Or if you just have questions that you would like some guidance on, you can ask me. I guess I should say I do personal coaching. See, I don't sell myself enough. So I'm telling you, if you do want some personal coaching, let me know. You can email me, nancyyearout@gmail.com, and we'll figure out a date and time. And, we'll get together and figure out a price that you can work with that works for you. Okay, auras. These are our outer energy fields. So I'm going to tell you okay, so the first time I ever learned about auras, gosh, I was in my 20s. And my husband and I took the kids, we were in Michigan, and there was a county fair. And so we took the kids to this county fair, and there was a girl, and she had an easel, and she had her pad, and she was drawing auras. And so I don't know what she charged for, like a couple bucks to have your aura drawn because she could see auras, and a lot of people can't. And it's the color, it's that surrounds your body. And in a lot of pictures of Jesus or of the angels, you will see the golden aura around them. Because I believe, and this has to be true, because why did they draw the auras if they couldn't see them? I think we all used to be able to see the auras, the colors around each other. And I think we've just lost it as our vibration has been kind of, gone a little wacky, but some people can see it. And this girl, she drew all of my different colors. I do remember yellow as one of my colors, but I want you to understand that, you know, our aura, it really tells how we're feeling right now. If you have a red aura, it could be that you're angry. But it's really interesting that you can see all the colors. Now, I want to tell you a little bit of information that I learned. Let's see here. All during my childhood, I saw this is from, okay, here we go. This is going to be from Edgar Cayce, and this is the last thing he wrote before he died. And he wrote about auras. Okay. I have this little book about Edgar Cayce, and he was the most intuitive man of his time, if you don't know who he was. He was born in 1877 in Beverly, Kentucky, and he died in 1945. He was called the Sleeping Prophet. And while in a meditative state, he could answer any question asked of him. And he regarding the past, future, and anybody's health. So he's referenced as an American Christian mystic. So Casey was a man of faith, and he did read the Bible once a year, and he did teach Sunday school. I don't know if people knew that or not. And this is out of my book. I'm reading this out of my book and I'm actually refreshing myself on some things that I haven't, practices that I haven't done in a while. But anyway, could you imagine yourself being a kid in this class? He could see your aura and know by the colors whether you were a troublemaker and who you really were. And that's true. So the last thing he wrote before he died was an essay on the auras and the meaning of the colors. And I actually have this book, you guys, and you can order it. It's a very small little pamphlet. I should have pulled it out, but it's really cool. It's by Edgar Cayce. And the book is entitled Auras, an Essay on the Meaning of Colors. And he wrote that the aura is the weather vane of the soul. He believed that it is possible for everyone to see auras, and so do I. I do believe that. I've included for your reference a story from his last work told to him by one of his friends. Okay, so here's the story. All during my childhood, I saw colors in connection with people, but did not realize that it was uncommon. One day, the appearance of a woman in our neighborhood struck me as odd, though I could not for the moment see anything strange about her. When I got home, it suddenly struck me that she had no color about her. Within a few weeks, this woman died. That was my first experience with what I have learned to look upon as a natural action of nature. Now, Casey goes on to say, apparently the aura reflects the vibration of the soul. So when a person is marked for death, the soul begins to withdraw and the aura naturally fades. At the end, there is only a slim connection and the break is easy. I have heard that when people die suddenly in accidents, the passing was very difficult because the way they had been prepared. A person's aura tells a great deal about them. And because these colors are associated with our energy fields, your aura can tell you a lot about yourself. And I was talking about energy was passion. Orange, I'll give you the colors. Orange is associated with relationships to the outside world and physical desires. Orange in your aura signifies creativity, thoughtfulness, and kindness to others, and mastery in life. Yellow is associated with intellect, happiness, power, and control. Yellow in your aura signifies communication, spiritual or material development, and one who is happy, friendly, and helpful. Green is a symbol for love, truth, and compassion. A green aura signifies a professional healer or a natural healer. Isn't that interesting? Because, like, Archangel Raphael is associated with the color green. Blue is associated with self-expression, truth, kindness, and communication. A blue aura signifies a spiritual or a peaceful, loving person. Blue is really associated with the angels too, and calm blue, but a lot with the angels. Archangel Michael, we always talk about his blue flame sword of truth. Indigo or blue purple is associated with intuition, inner wisdom, and clairvoyance. People with a purple aura are visionaries and they're highly spiritual. Hey, hey. White is the perfect color we are all striving for. A white aura signifies a soul in perfect balance. Jesus has this aura. Oh my gosh. So let's see. Okay, now I want to share a little bit of what Edgar Casey said about the healing powers of color and music before we move on to protection. We've got some time. So this is really important stuff. 500 years ago, before the birth of Christ, Pythagoras, the first philosopher, and colors used colors for healing. Today, medical science is just beginning to see the possibilities in this method. If colors are vibrations of the spiritual forces, they should be able to help in healing our deepest and our most subtle modalities. Together with music, which is a kindred spiritual force, they form a great hope for therapy for the future. And that's what he said about that. So the colors are healing. And a lot of times, I'll just share this with you, instead of bringing in the white light, like I was showing you guys to clear that, through the crown chakra and down through your body, you can bring color and just ask God, what color do I need today? Ask spirit, or ask your angel, what color do I need today? And it's the first thing that pops into your head. And then visualize that color running through your body. And that's healing. It's what your body needs because your body doesn't lie. Okay. So let's talk about how to clear our energy fields. Talking a lot today, so. Okay, gotta have my Gatorade. Gotta have a little sugar. All right, here we go. One of my favorite things to do to clear your energy field is to take a sea salt bath. And we don't do it enough. And if you don't have a bathtub, what you can do is get a cup of salt. And when you're in the shower, of course, close your eyes and fill the cup up with some water and dump it over your head because you want to get your crown chakra and all of that, into the salt because it really does help. Salt is so healing. Salt water is healing. Go for a swim in the ocean. Very, very healing. Also, you can do, I put in my book a really cool sugar scrub that you can do. So, and that's really nice, to do the sugar scrub and get some of that negative energy off of you. But when you get in the bathtub with the salt, and I would say put a cup of salt in, you can use Epsom salt, you can use, table salt. But bottom line is the salt removes some of that negative energy, or actually all of it that's on you as much as you can, and I still use things like selenite to clear and that type of thing. I've got selenite in all my rooms, but I just want to say that salt, and you can put salt if you're feeling kind of weird. Um, One of my favorite things to do is put salt in front of my doors because negative people can't walk through the threshold. That may sound kind of witchy, but it's true. The salt really is a purifier. That's how they make holy water is with salt, and I make holy water too. I should make some holy water. I'll have to give you the recipe on my next show. I'll give you the recipe for holy water, and you can make your own. One of my favorite things to do, is to put cinnamon in a pan. I've talked about this for years, the recipes in my book. And you put cinnamon in a pan with water and you boil it. And what happens is the cinnamon, the steam itself, goes out into the room and it gets in all the nooks and crannies and it clears. Cinnamon has a property of clearing, and so you can clear your whole house with cinnamon and nobody knows what you're doing. Okay. And that's really a cool thing to do. Okay. Um, this is something I want to talk about that's in my book, and I'm going to read it to you because there's a lot of cool information. So bear with me here. But this is about like when you go to the grocery store or if you go to the ATM, think about how many things you touch with your hands on a daily basis. So when you touch anything, you're intermingling with the object's energy and everyone else's energy who's used that object. Interesting, isn't it? So my friend Rhonda Chowdhury, she always tells me, she's given me good tips over the years. She told me this a long time ago. I did put it in my book and I underlined it today because I even forgot about this. So when you're touching the keypad, like if you're at the ATM, when you go before you touch it, um, so you don't pick up the energy or even you put your pin in, you just, before you punch your number in, you just take your hand and you say negative energy be gone or whatever you feel comfortable saying. But I like that. Negative energy be gone. No one has to see you do it. Just go, psh, negative energy be gone. Psh, say it to yourself and just, psh. It's the act, it's the intention because you are picking up the energy of everybody else. I think that's really interesting that we don't talk about this kind of stuff. And so we really have to be careful. Like, this is another crazy one. So my mom she's not with us anymore, God bless her, but she was real narcissistic and she always had this negative energy. And I would go to her house and I always would sit in this chair and I would leave and I would have the worst energy. Oh my God. So I learned to just negative energy gone before I sat down. And no one ever saw me do it. But these are things you can do. If you're at the grocery store and you're ready to put in your pin, just negative energy gone, say it to yourself. Anyway, another thing you can do is flick the energy off your fingers because when we do touch things, just flick and do each finger individually and you're flicking off the negative energy, getting it off of you, especially after you do a healing, on somebody. I've seen a lot of massage therapists, you got to shake it off. You got to get that energy off of there. Another way to clear, and I love this more than anything, I was in New Mexico for, gosh, many years, 25, 30 years. I'm gonna age myself, but the Native Americans teach to use sage. And gosh, I have had sage for as long as I can remember. And you just light the sage and you walk through the house. And remember to open a door or a window when you do light a sage stick, because the negative energy needs somewhere to go. So get your sage stick out and walk through the house. I always say negative energy go, positive energy stay. Watch the little pieces that can fall from the sage sticks because they have little droppings that come off. And if you want a sage stick, you can order them online and order white sage from New Mexico. Always use white sage. That's what I use. And you can, get in all those nooks and crannies. And if you have someone, that is allergic to the smoke or whatever, then do the cinnamon and that will clear out your house. Now, the sage stick can also be used if you want in your car. It could be in your boat. So those are all different things you can use to salt, sage, cinnamon, a lot of different things, and it's intention. Remember, it's your intention of what you're doing, your energy, you're putting it out there. Another thing I want to talk about before we get out of here today is protection and how, there's a lot of different things I've learned over the years about protection. And intuitively, it's really interesting. When I was younger and my kids were little, we would go to an event, and I was a single mom. And I would bubble us. I'd put white light around us, and no one ever bothered us. And if I ever forgot to do it, people would kind of, give us, I don't know, it just seemed like we always had a better time when I did it, and I just protected us. I don't know. I did it intuitively, and I still do it today. And I always put white light around myself. In the morning, I say a prayer, I clear my energy field, and I surround myself with the white light of the Holy Spirit from the highest realms of heaven. That's what I say. You can say whatever feels good to you, but, surround yourself with the white light. Now, the other thing that I'm going to tell you, that I'm going to leave you with today, is that before I get ready to go somewhere, and I think I've said this on my show, I learned to put out golden light to wherever I'm going ahead of time. So I send out the golden light ahead of me to the grocery store, that everything go well, and everything's on sale to go quick because I don't like to grocery shop so much. Or just wherever I'm going. If I'm going to the dentist, let it go quick and easy. Wherever I'm going, I send out golden light ahead of time so that my trip is joyful and the traffic's good and everything goes really, really well. So these are things you can do. Again, it's about your intention. It's about whatever intention you put out there. Okay, you learned a lot today. How to clear your energy fields, about your chakras, how to bring in the light, how to balance your chakras. So I will be back to talk about more. And in the meantime, definitely pick up my book, A Guide to Angel Communication and Spiritual Law. And the one we're talking about today is Wake Up, the Universe is Speaking to You. Now, I do have a class coming up. You can check out my classes on my website. You could also sign up for a personal reading with me or an energy healing. So nancyyearout.com. I hope everybody has a fabulous day. I wish everybody happy January 2025, and God bless.
Hold your head high, the world is coming. Watch the colors lift your soul. Connect the dots and